Hello! Welcome to Rage Ranting. You know me, hopefully. If you don't, look it up. You know him. And this little person here is my buddy Jacob.
Hello.
Let's all welcome Jacob to the show. Today we're going to be reviewing 300 Rise of an Empire. Before I get to that, we're going to be showing off this movie. We're going to be reviewing it way down the road. Boss, Love of the Damned. Just got it today. We'll be watching it some point down the road. So, what do you guys think of 300 Rise of an Empire?
Good. I don't think it was good as the first one, like story-wise. And the characters in the first one were more entertaining, I think I liked the characters in the first one more. But this one, the action was better. It was solid.
Yeah, why'd the light go up?
Technical difficulty.
Talking about 300 Rise of an Empire. What do you think about it?
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as the first one. I think some of the characters in this one were kind of goofy.
Yeah.
The glamorous ass, god ass guy who was bald as hell. I thought he was kind of goofy with his goofy deep voice, and he didn't do nothing the whole movie. He was just kind of chilling.
Oh, I mean the transgender Dowsum from Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Were they setting up a third movie ending it like that? It's like they were trying to set up a third.
I thought at first I thought he was gonna hop, but then he started yapping. And I was like, all right, bro, pack it up. But yeah, the action was good. A little too much slow mo, but that's about my only complaint with
Just a little bit.
the action. Fucking Zack Snyder Rebel Moon ass slow mo scenes.
My thought on it, I liked it. Not as much as 300, the original. I don't think it was as memorable. Action scenes in this one, far better than the ones in the first one.
Oh, pretty cool.
It's freaking weird because you remember 300, the movie. There's more memorable moments in that movie than this one, but somehow this movie had better action sequences, which is strange.
The naval battles out on sea were awesome.
They were, but I was
so
confused.
Cool.
I had no idea what was going on, huh?
Whose boat is who? Is that their boat?
Chuck Norris, is that your boat, you prick? Is that Chuck Norris's boat? You think he has a ferry? All the strategics of the battles of the boats. I just saw a bunch of ships hitting each other, and I kind of zoned out of that. What do you think of the battles?
I feel like it was the cliche of like smashing toys together to where it's like nothing's really happening. It's just there to look cool until the main character comes on
The
screen.
movie is just eye candy.
Yeah, testosterone ass guy solos everyone with like no effort whatsoever.
Who do you think's sexiest, Chuck Norris or Xerxes, the transgender Dowsum? Who do you think would win this in like a sex off, you know?
Like a what?
A sex off. Who would be more sexy?
A sexy off?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard Chuck Norris talk, so I couldn't tell you.
Sorry, Chuck. All right.
Okay, the acting. How was the acting?
The acting. We are talking about the acting next. First off, we have Sylvan Stapleton as Themistocles, the main character. What do you guys think of him?
He was alright. He was very plain Jane.
Yeah.
Leonidas, Gerard Butler, Leonidas, I think he did a much better job as like a lead actor.
Yeah, I think Leonidas had a little better personality. And what do you think?
More charismatic.
He's a far better leader, I would say.
Would you?
In this, he was just kind of like, he felt more of like just one of the guys in there rather than leading the troops.
He didn't have any epic speeches like
No.
Leonidas. Leonidas, he was cracking jokes. He was like, ah, let's fuck these bitches up. This guy who was just like, we're going to do this, and it is going to be brave and glorious. This is very plain Jane.
Yeah.
Pessimistic too. We're probably gonna die, but that's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Very vanilla.
It's what he said too. He's like, I probably should have did things differently, but here we are. We're all fucked.
Feel the same. He was nothing special. What about Eva Green as Tessima, whatever her name is, the main
The
villain
lady?
girl? Yeah.
She was
Like her?
She was alright.
He was so unnecessarily horny throughout the movie.
Exactly.
So sorry.
Like, why'd she wear? Did they have fishnet leggings in?
I don't know.
You really didn't have to kiss the head of a deceased person. I'm just saying.
I think she went to Hot Topic before they filmed this movie.
She looked
Her
too.
costume design.
Yeah, she was too edgy. She was wearing literal like fishnet leggings. I don't know if
Fishnet
that was, like-
leggings and a spine.
Yeah, goofy ass spine armor.
She didn't feel in place with the times, if that makes sense.
You felt like she was in a dystopian future type.
Yeah, she looked
type
like
of
she was
thing.
some sort of cyberpunk 2077 like emo goth character.
Got
or
a
something.
futuristic Hot Topic cashier and just threw her in a movie.
Exactly. Exactly.
Futuristic Hot Topic cat.
That's exactly what she seemed like. She seemed very out of place.
I liked her design. I liked her acting. I think she did a good job. But you're absolutely right on she didn't fit the time of the movie. Callahan Mulvey played Soleus, Crooked-Eyed Warrior. You didn't know which way that guy was looking. Like when he was dying, I'm like, if I was sitting there looking at him, I'm like, are you looking at me, Dad? I'm like, I couldn't tell what the guy was looking at throughout the whole fucking
He's
movie.
laying on the ground dying, talking to his son, and his eyes are out in space and then over looking at the boat.
What do you think about him?
He was alright, bro. I can't with you.
You
He was
like him?
alright.
He was my favorite character.
He's a little creepy with his goofy eye.
His goofy eye.
He's just checking up on his dead wife or something. I don't know.
Okay. His dead wife somewhere on the side. A couple other two more characters that I found of importance. David Wenham. So what do you think of overall acting by everyone? Is there a standout?
Not
Anyone?
really. I guess the main villain is the most memorable, but even she was just like, she was okay.
Yeah, I didn't see any standouts in this one. Like the main characters in this one.
You had white guy
They're
number
kinda
1,
bland.
white guy number 2, white guy number 3.
All right, moving on, sir. Ow! Ow!
Are you good?
Ow! Ow! Ow!
What are you
The
doing?
whole goddamn fucking subscribe button coming out of my butt.
I hate this place. I'm leaving. I'm clocking out. I'm gonna go kill myself. Don't mind.
So you gotta come on.
Thinking this man got testicular torsion. Subscribe button out of his sphincter.
What do you guys think of the?
The music was like the same shit as the first one. It was cool, but it wasn't like it was epic battle music. You know, I wouldn't be able to put a finger on it, but
What do you think about Jacob?
Very standard, like old Greek battle music. I would say, like royalty-free esque music.
That's what I was
your notification sound.
I'm sorry, my new chair's messing with me. But you like the score?
Yeah, it's good, but I feel like I could find similar music just on YouTube, royalty-free music.
Let me ask you a question. You think if you and Lex came down here and fought and beat the crap out of each other, would you be able to do it to the Greek music? You could kick her ass to that kind of music, right?
Yeah.
Could you get down to it?
Sure, man.
All right, moving on to the cinematography. Cinematography.
It was good. I don't think it was nearly as like thought through as the first one, because the first one had some insane shots where it's like lined up and then all the
Like a
just
painting.
like they did a crazy job in the first one. This one,
A step or two lower.
yeah,
Like
they
they
pulled
took a
it
step-
back on this one a lot. They kept all the slow motion shots and shit.
Extra slow
They
motion.
like doubled down on the slow motion shots, which I didn't think was possible. The only thing I'm glad they didn't do was make the entire sex scene slow motion like
Oh
they
my
did in
gosh.
the first one.
That was our
saved
favorite
me.
part.
Instead of having a intimate slow motion scene that lasted like 3 minutes like the first movie, this one it was like literal action scene. They had the same music in the action scenes
The hate
and
fuck
the sex
scene.
scene, and I was
I
like,
would call it a hate
wh-
fuck scene.
why are they filming the scene this way? Like it's some sort of battle. I don't know if it was obviously supposed to portray some sort of like
Intensity?
intensity between the two, as if like this is some sort of duel. But like I don't need to see visual penetration to ensure that the viewer understands that they don't like each other and
As
they're-
it doing it.
as like I didn't need all that. Honestly, I think
Sex scene.
the best shots were at the beginning. The shots kind of dwindled.
What do you think about the shots and action and the color and everything?
I feel like the cinematography in this film was a lot more limited because it was much more grand scale. A lot of this movie was on the water, and
Yeah.
there's not a lot of beautiful shots you can do when everyone's on different boats.
Just a bunch of boats.
Like it's kind of limiting to have like a big wide shot of everybody, unless you're focusing on a certain character.
You think any other scenes though in the movie like were nice to look at, or any of the action sequences?
Maybe like the final scene where like they were like throwing the fire, then everything caught on fire, and
Yeah.
it kind of lit up the darkness. But that's about it.
Scene with a big like extra large moon in the background.
The moon is so
It's like the moon was getting ready to crash into the earth.
The moon was massive for no reason.
Other than to be nice to look at.
There's some cool backdrop that they didn't focus on at all. That wasn't like the main focus of any shot. So I don't know why they made the moon so large.
No, I don't get that. The scenes in this movie were really nice to look at. They were a step or two below what the original 300 did. They tried to copy it. I don't know what it was. The first one had more diversity in their scenes as to oppose to this movie just had like a blurring effect and like lighting shit up more.
First one did it better.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
tried. It came close. Just a step or two below the style, the way they did things.
I'm not just breaking up.
I'm not breaking up.
Sorry, there's a hair in my mouth. It's aggressive. I'm not just breaking up.
Not just breaking up.
I guess
Divorced.
she's breaking up. Moving on to overall thoughts of this wonderful movie that we've all just witnessed on this wonderful TV screen in my wonderful mother-in-law's basement.
Pretty good movie.
Pretty good movie.
Step down from the first, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story and
Yeah.
the characters were definitely not as good as the first one. Same thing with the cinematography. They sacrificed quite a few things from the first one just so they could amp up the action. There was a lot more high stake battles.
What are your thoughts on the movie?
it's alright. Step down. The pacing, I will say, was a lot worse from the first movie.
Really?
I feel like the pacing in this was kind of all over the place. Because now this is happening. Oh, but then they're gonna negotiate. But oh, go tell this guy this, and then come tell us this. I don't know, man. I feel like they focused way too much of the budget on the action rather than developing an actual story.
Story
And
was
it
basically the
says-
same story as the first one. They just wove their way around in between everything else around the main story. So it's
Yeah.
the same story. And like I will say, score I'm gonna give this movie, it gets an extra notch up. I'm a sucker when movies do this kind of thing, when they show a different perspective of someone else and they weave their way the same story. I love that stuff. That's why it's gonna get a half a notch of what I was originally gonna give it. Think of The Lion King 1.5.
Yeah, it wasn't like a direct sequel taking
No,
off
it wasn't a
from
prequel, wasn't a sequel.
the end of well, it's a sequel, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's like taking place throughout the first movie, breaking off to where the second movie ended.
Rating the movie, what would you rate it?
Well, what did you rate the first 300? You gave it an 8.5.
First one I rated 8.5, but it's good, just not as
Yeah,
memorable.
it's good. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's not like good as in like I wasn't glued to the screen because of the story and the characters were so captivating. I was watching it because like it's cool as hell, but that's about it.
A 7.
A
It's
7.
kind of mid.
All right, I did not see this movie before. I actually watched this. This is my second time watching it. I watched the first time right after we filmed the last movie, and that was like less than a week ago. And my rating is going to be, and it gets a half a notch up because it wove its way through an already existing story. I was going to go 7, but I'm going to go a 7.5 with this one. I think I liked it more than 30 Days a Night, which I gave a 7. So this one's getting a 7.5 on the Rage Ranting meter. All right, so that is our review of this glorious movie, Jacob. It'll be me, him, maybe Chuck Norris. Who knows? You prick.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Next movie we're going to be reviewing will be Alien vs. Predator. Comic book movie reviews, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
What they do. Me too, though, today.